Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, hello and welcome. So today I'm going to be doing a casual get ready with me while talking about some things I've been up to, because I thought I would talk about some of the other things that I enjoy doing as opposed to just talking about makeup basically. So I'm mainly going to be talking about gigs I've been to, and I've been going to the cinema quite a lot recently, which is a massive change over the past like 2 years. So I thought I would just put on some makeup and kind of talk to you guys at the same time, because again, I never talk about things I do on the outside, so I thought I would just do a video basically. So I'm gonna start off with a bit of skincare, just because I've been out in the sun today and I can already feel that my face is like completely just like burnt. Yeah, I've had a very eventful day. I'll get into that in a minute, because I want to talk about some gigs I've been going to, because yeah, it's been a very long time since I've been to a gig. I don't even remember the last gig that I went to prior to COVID, and I've always kind of, when I was younger, I used to go to gigs like every month, like multiple gigs a month, and it would obviously piss off my family, but that was like, look, music is my life. Like, I absolutely love live music and, you know, just discovering new bands and stuff like that. And I think the last gig that I might have gone to before lockdown was to see Alice Cooper at the O2, or it was Slipknot at the O2. So it's definitely been like a while, obviously because of COVID. And even during COVID, I did a video where I was like, things that I miss doing, but obviously can't because of COVID, and going to gigs was one of them, because it was such a big part of my life. And now that everything has kind of slowly getting back to normal, and you know, people are going out and events are opening and theatres are opening and stuff like that, I kind of took a deep dive and I was like, right, I'm going to go to a gig finally. I was offered like before to go to a gig like with my family, and like my aunts and stuff, they're really big music fans, I've mentioned that before, but I just didn't, at the time, didn't feel like I was ready. And then it must have been over a month ago now, I went to see Ghost at the O2. So if you don't know who they are, they're a metal band, but they are very like, they're very influenced by the 80s music, horror, and they look they look different from how they sound, because a lot of people will think that they sing heavy black metal, but they actually don't. They're very theatrical and very dramatic when it comes to what they sing about. Each of their albums are very different in the sense of what they sing about. So they sing about, like, you know, the plague, or they talk about like revolutions and stuff like that. And I just really enjoy their music, and I saw them a very long time ago. I think this must have been about 10 years ago with one of my friends. He was like, oh, do you want to go and see this band called Ghost? They're playing at Brixton, with another band called Gojira, who I absolutely love. It was at Brixton for £5. And I was like, you know what? I can't turn down a £5 gig, especially with a band that I've not heard before. And I really fell in love with them then. And I hadn't seen them again. I mentioned this before, but I've had a very like weird love-hate, not hate relationship with Ghost, but they're very kind of like, they're very, I don't know, some of the music is quite samey, like a lot of their kind of like rhythms and stuff like that tend to be quite similar throughout most of their albums. But when I started listening to them again, I really feel like they're doing an amazing job. And they were playing at the O2, and I managed to get like a free ticket from my friend, and so I went, and it was honestly just so fantastic. Like I mentioned, I am a big fan of theirs, and I had wanted to see them again after so long, because they've had numerous albums obviously out since then, and of course it was like my first gig coming back after like everything that's happened with COVID. And you know, I really had the best time. I went by myself. My husband was working kind of on a late shift, so I was like, to be honest, I've always been used to kind of going to a lot of gigs by myself when I was younger. Not many people had the same kind of music taste as me, so I kind of was always used to just going alone, and it didn't bother me at all. But because I just was like, yeah, it's Ghost, I'm not turning down a free ticket as well. And so I went, and they did play a lot of their kind of like usual hits. So if you know their songs, if you think of some of their like their big tunes and stuff. They played it, and they played some of my favorite tunes towards the end of the gig, so I was super duper happy. So they were the first band I saw coming back, and saying this, I've been to 2 more other gigs, so I'm going to be talking about those as well. And then this is the next gig that I kind of went to was a gig that I booked almost 2 years ago. So I have like a big eclectic like music taste. So I went to see it was a day festival called Incineration Festival in Camden, and it's essentially music like black metal music. And I basically fell in love with Emperor, so they were headlining. I fell in love with them about 7-8 years ago, and I saw them at Bloodstock for the first time. I think it was like in 2013, I can't remember, but I went to see them and I absolutely fell in love with them. They're now like my favorite black metal band. They're amazing, and they've been around for so long. They haven't played in like London in almost like, I think it must have been like 16 years. They have a lot of history with just the band members being a bit problematic, and well, their drummer murdered someone, so essentially they kind of like, they had another drummer, but I guess playing in the UK has been a bit difficult for them, especially with him. But he did play with them, and essentially Incineration was a whole day festival in Camden. So if you know London, Camden is like goth not emo central, but like it's alternative kids central. So you know, if you lived in London in like the 90s and 2000, you would go to Camden on like a regular basis, because they always have gigs there. They always have just like alternative people hanging out. I used to go there a lot in uni. We used to go to a place called the Electric Ballroom, to like Sin City. Like, does anyone remember Sin City? That was just like an amazing night out. Like we used to go quite frequently. It was a lot of fun. And so this day festival was happening in like numerous locations in Camden, and that did include Electric Ballroom and, you know, Roundhouse and Underworld and stuff like that. So initially I was going by myself, and then 2 of my friends who I've known for a really long time messaged me saying, oh, we saw that you're going, do you want to join us? And I was like, yes, absolutely, because I hadn't seen them in so long. And so yeah, I joined them. It was an amazing day. We didn't see that many bands just because it was such a tight knit of the bands that we wanted to see in certain places, and you got like a wristband, so the ticket got you like one wristband to like numerous bands basically. And yes, so I got to see a couple of bands. I discovered a couple of new bands as well, which I was so excited about, so they're on my like Spotify to listen to. And then I got to see Emperor, and it was just insane. It was amazing. I was so happy. When it comes to like black metal, I'm always like in my element when it comes to just like live music, and it was worth the wait. Obviously, like waiting over 2 years was a long kind of painful thing you have to deal with, but you know what, it was worth it, because again, I don't know the next time I'm going to see Emperor. When are they going to come here again? And when I saw them at Bloodstock, they were amazing. They did headline, and at the time they played the whole album of In the Night Side, because that was the anniversary for it. So this was like a mixture of really old songs and just like just nice to see them. And so yeah, that was an amazing day. And then I've been to one more gig that I'm going to talk about, and so this band I have wanted to see for absolutely donkey's years. So I got to see Tool finally. Oh my god, I was so happy. Again, they were playing O2. My friend kindly gave me tickets, so me and my husband got to go, and it's one of his favourite bands as well. So the fact that we were able to go to a gig and see a band that we've adored for so long. Tool are very like, if you know them, you know that they're very they're not difficult, but they're very like strange, and they hadn't released an album prior to this like recent album in like almost 6-7 years, I believe, or maybe longer than that. And they hadn't toured in the UK, I think, in quite a while. So when I saw that they're playing, I was like, I have to go. We got amazing seats as well, and it was essentially the whole gig you weren't allowed to take pictures of, to film. And you know what, I do quite like that idea, just so you're not constantly distracted by your phone. And the band do say, you know, we enforce this just so you're having a good time. And to be honest, it's a visual like amazing visually. But the only thing that did annoy and distract me were the security guards coming back and forth to stop people from filming, and by stopping them, that meant escorting them out of the building. So there was a guy right behind us who was caught taking pictures basically, and security guard was like, look, you can come with us quietly or we can like drag you out of here. And he was like, oh, so what do you mean? And he's like, you know what I'm talking about, we know what you're doing, so you need to come with us now. And so he never came back, so I assumed that he was just chucked out of the venue, which is insane because the tickets like are not cheap for when you go to these concerts, especially where we were sitting. It was pretty much right near the stage, and I was a bit like, okay, just follow the rules. And they did actually let you film the last song because I think they were just like, I think they do it for all their gigs, so they do say, you know, okay, now it's time to bring out your stupid phones and, you know, record this even though we want you to have like a good time, blah blah blah. And I was like, okay, I filmed like a couple of videos and a couple of pictures and stuff like that, but you know what, it was an amazing gig. Tour are absolutely fantastic. They just always put on the best show, and it is difficult to find a lot of their like videos on YouTube because I guess because they don't want people to film anymore. Sorry, excuse me, my voice gone like so dry. I'm gonna use my Star Wars palette because why the hell not, and I'm gonna go in with the blue shades even though there's not many of them, but I'm just gonna make up something. So yeah, that was basically the 3 gigs I've been to so far. You know, since COVID has kind of like, you know, slowly disappearing, even though there are people who are still sadly losing their lives and being affected by COVID. And it's not even just COVID as well, it's just me wanting to like not really go out as much and save money. And I am very grateful to know people who I was able to get a free ticket. And to be honest, I haven't even mentioned this actually, I'm working at the O2 now, so I can actually get like tickets very soon, like when I pass my probation and stuff. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, I just have been so happy going to gigs again because it's some time for you to like forget about what's happening, and we've all had some really tough times over the past few years, and going to a gig for me is like the best escapism. Just dealing with like my mental health anyway, going to a gig, it's all those endorphins and being able to like sing along and being able to like jump around and be an idiot and not being judged for the way you dance and not the way for this and that, especially by the metal community. Like, we're really nice people. Like, some people that I work with are like, you know what, the people that we've had like for certain gigs recently have been so nice. And I said, the metal people are really nice. We just get a bad rep of just, you know, listening to scary music and, you know, the lyrics being stupid and things like that. But you know what, metal is the nicest community to be a part of, and I love it so much. So that was the gigs I've been to recently, and I can say 3 bands that I absolutely love and adore. What a great way to kind of like get back into like going to live music again. I've also been going to the cinema actually quite frequently, as opposed to me not going before so much before COVID. Like, I'm a big movie buff as well, big movie fan, and again before COVID I did try and like not go as much. So I don't remember the last film I saw pre-COVID was maybe Star Wars, and that was bad. That was like a bad way to end my my kind of cinema thing. But you know, we did watch a lot of films at home, but you know, sometimes watching movies in the big screen is always gonna be so much more rewarding, even though you like have to go out and be around people and do this and that. But you know what, today I basically went to the Prince Charles Cinema to see The Northman. I absolutely fucking loved it. Essentially what happened was I've missed seeing it in other cinemas and I really wanted to watch it, and it actually is on Amazon Prime to watch, but you have to pay for it. So we paid for it. Like, my husband kindly was like, yeah, I'll pay for it, I don't care, because he is like a Viking himself. If anyone knows what my husband looks like, he is essentially a Viking. And so we watched it, and our TV is quite a decent size, so it was pretty good. And then I got kind of obsessed with it, and I was like, you know what, I need to see this in the cinema. And I've been looking around to try and find where it's playing, but because it's been out for quite a few weeks now, I think it kind of has like died down slowly, and I do think that it's kind of failed a little bit in cinemas just because not a lot of people are going to see it, which is very unfortunate because Robert Eggers is known to be like amazing. I haven't seen Witch, and I haven't had a chance to see The Lighthouse yet, but I've heard that those two movies are amazing. They're on my wish list to watch. So yeah, I went to Prince Charles today, which is a great independent cinema just in central London, basically in Leicester Square. So if you ever want to see some like amazing movies, they always show like classical movies. They do like sing-alongs and quote-alongs and meet and greet. So I actually went to see Alex Winter there recently. I mentioned that in one of my videos with my husband and one of my really good friends, and so we went to that again was like delayed by so long because of COVID, but when we went it was so much fun. But yeah, seeing Northman on the big screen is just how it should be. Like they do say you need to watch it in a cinema to appreciate it a bit more, so that's what I did. I had a day off today, so I went to see that. Absolutely loved it. I'm really like into that movie so much right now. I love like Norse mythology, and you know, Vikings and all that stuff is very interesting. It's not just seeing a bunch of topless men, I promise, and just seeing Ethan Hawke. That's not it, I promise. But yeah, Northman, I highly recommend it. And then we also went to see Doctor Strange, which I did really enjoy as well. I know it's getting a bit of slack recently because it's a very dark movie, but you know what, it's Sam Raimi. If you know who Sam Raimi is, he is basically the director of like the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies, but also he's directed Evil Dead movies. They are freaking amazing. They are basically like just like go-to horror movies to watch basically, and so him directing something like Doctor Strange was pretty interesting to see because a lot of his skills are definitely like put into that movie. It's known that, you know, Marvel do tend to kind of get in the way of directors and stuff like that, interfere, that's the word, like interfere with the movies and the directors. But I think with this they kind of gave him, it seemed like they gave him a lot more freedom, which is pretty awesome. And because he's such a well-known director as well, he definitely deserves like the love, and I really enjoy it. I'm not going to spoil any of these movies because they haven't really been out for that long for me to even talk about it, so I'm not going to be like, oh, this happens and this happens, because that's not me. I'm just gonna put on some eyeliner. But yeah, I think I mentioned already that I went to see Batman because that's been out for ages. I really enjoyed it. The cast is amazing. Even like Robert Pattinson is fantastic. Like I said in the beginning, I was like, I don't think it would be a great idea for fucking like Edward Cullen to be Batman, but you know what? I really enjoyed him, and I know it's not up to me to be like, oh, let's hire this person, that person. Like I don't know who would be a great Batman, to be honest, but Michael Keaton is always like my number one Batman basically. But I just, yeah, really enjoyed it. I know they're making another one now, so that's gonna be something else to look forward to. What is coming up? Yeah, we're gonna go and see Top Gun very soon. That's out, probably gonna be out by the time I watch this, so hopefully I would have watched it already. I'm gonna quickly go off camera, do my lips, and then the look will be done. Okay, this is my finished look. So as I was saying, Batman, yeah, I really liked it. I think I mentioned that already. But anyway, let me know if you've been to any gigs recently. Let me know if you've gone to the cinema recently. I'm also on Letterboxd now, so if you want to follow me on that, you're welcome to. I'm always updating it every day just because I have seen so many movies in my lifetime, and I'm very like passionate about telling people how I feel about certain movies. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed the video. I will hopefully do more like this in the future, if I tend to do anything else quite interesting. Yeah, please don't forget to like and subscribe, because I do film and upload every time I get a chance to. Don't forget to follow me on any of my social medias, because I'm always active on there. Hope you guys are doing really well, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.